Hello, hope you're having a great day. Today I thought I would talk about something a little bit different that I've never spoken about before on this YouTube channel. And I probably won't really talk about it again. Maybe I will in the future, but it's not really the main type of stuff that I talk about on this channel. Mostly I do reviews, product reviews, and some other stuff that's related to that. But today I thought I would talk about my weight. Now, some of you may have had New Year's resolutions, and now it is pretty much going on the end of February, but you might still be following your resolutions. That's possible. I know that in 2020, when I made my resolution to hopefully lose weight, at first I was not really following that. On the first day of 2020, we went to a New Year's buffet, as we usually did every year. It was not at the same place, but definitely that was a lot of food, and a lot of it was not the healthiest choices. Now, a lot has changed over this past year for me. In March, just about a few days after everything shut down, I became gluten-free. And it was not that my body seemed, we believe it's gluten intolerant. And that's why I became gluten-free, not because of a diet or anything, not because I was trying to lose weight from becoming gluten-free or anything like that, but we finally figured out since I was about 4 or 5 years old, I'd always had discomfort with my stomach. I'm not going to really talk about it much in this video, but I've always had discomfort up until March. And there have been a few times where I've accidentally consumed gluten since then, very few times luckily, but in those instances I did have reactions. So, but in March I became gluten-free, and that was definitely a big change. Now, in February 2020, I actually visited the doctor on my annual appointment, as I did 2 days ago. And in February 2020, when I went to the doctor last year, my weight was 192 pounds. And I could tell that my doctor was a little concerned about my weight. And I had known that my pant size was going up every year. And I knew that probably wasn't in the best shape. And that's why in January I made that little resolution to myself that, I should really lose weight. And but I never really followed through at that point. Even after the doctor's visit, still nothing changed. And even when I became gluten-free, nothing changed. Some people think that just by becoming gluten-free you'll lose weight. I don't really think that that's true. In fact, the gluten-free versions of some of the foods that usually would have gluten, like gluten-free bread, cookies, and snack products, often appear to be not even as healthy as their regular counterpart. So that was also not leading to me losing any weight. My weight continued to go up until mid-June, and my weight in mid-June was 200 pounds. And that was when I really realized, you know what, I'll be going to Maine, and maybe I can change. Since I go to Maine every year in the summer, and sometimes that's a place where, it's a new environment. We go to the same place every year in Maine, but it's different than being in this house. So I thought it's a new chance for me to lose weight. So when I got to Maine, and even a few days before I even got to Maine, I made better choices. And I had more exercise. In Maine, we swim every day for hours and hours, and it makes sense, right on the lake. I think I recorded a vlog back in Maine. That might have been the last vlog I've recorded since then, but that really showed you kind of what a day in Maine is like. And the food that I was eating in Maine, obviously everything was gluten-free for me, but it was really just focusing on, I did not choose a specific diet or any plan or program or something like that, that you might see advertisements for on TV or something like that. I just followed my own view of it and looking at, how much of this vitamin should I be getting each day, and things, making sure I have a balanced diet. And the push behind that was self-motivation. I really motivated myself when I would be, picking out what food I was eating for breakfast or lunch or dinner. I would really, just stop for a second and think, is this gluten-free pasta really that necessary? Or would I be better off having something that has more protein, fewer carbohydrates, fewer sugars and things like that? Oh, less sugar, I think, would be more grammatically correct. But I'm not a professional when it comes to that type of stuff. And obviously I'm not a doctor. I'm only 16 years old. So I was just making choices that I felt were better choices. Having more vegetables, fewer crackers and cookies and snacks. That was really the main push. If I wanted a snack, I'm not allergic to nuts, so I would have some nuts, gluten-free nuts. And there are many brands that their nuts are not necessarily certified gluten-free. And I mostly stay with just a few brands that I knew said on the label gluten-free, since I have gotten reactions from some companies of nuts that, if it doesn't have wheat in the ingredients list and it doesn't say on the same equipment or anything, if it doesn't say gluten-free on the nuts, then I really don't want to eat it. And so that's happened to me before, back in September. That was actually, in September was my last reaction to gluten, so it's been quite a while, but I've been very careful. I have not eaten from any restaurant besides one since I became gluten-free. Actually, two. But I'll talk about those experiences in a video that I hope to make in about a month, a little less than a month, when it'll be an anniversary from when I became gluten-free. So anyway, it was just basically making better choices. Things like this here. This is a little small jar of Nutella. It's actually a glass jar. I don't know how we ended up with this, but we don't have regular Nutella anymore. And this was a product that I would have, and I'd known that it's not healthy necessarily. I mean, it's debatable whether certain things are healthy or not, but very sugar plentiful chocolate spread with a few nuts in it might not be the healthiest choice. And also probably lots of oil and fat in this as well. But anyway, aside from that, it was mostly self-motivation. There were times when I would take something out of the pantry and, I just stopped, looked at the package for a few seconds, and, some of the times I would be like, no, there's no purpose in me having this, so I put it back. And that's how I managed to do this, and also cutting out, a lot of the added sugars and the sweets. Nowadays, if I want like a sweet thing, I'll have some golden raisins in a little cup or something like that. Just a few raisins because they taste sweet. I know some people don't like raisins, but I've always liked them. And that will just give me, like a little sweet taste of something. Rather than eating cookies or ice cream or something, may as well just have a few raisins. And also, I've had occasionally, on special occasions, some dark chocolate. Now, I'm one of the people, I'm someone, I don't know how many people are like this, but when it comes to chocolate, I would either have milk chocolate or just pure dark. Not 90%, 70%, 80%, 100% unsweetened chocolate. And that's the two types that I prefer. And my grandmother actually feels the same way. But I don't know, the 100% dark chocolate still, tastes like chocolate in my view. Some people say it's way too bitter to even taste the chocolate part of it, but it is 100% chocolate. So that's where I am with chocolate. So I would have a few squares of 100% unsweetened chocolate, and that would, give me a little taste of chocolate. So making changes like that, you know, and kind of just realizing, is the thing healthy? And just stopping myself to think for a minute. That's really how I managed to do it. And I never was someone that really drank a lot of sugared soda or anything like that. To this day, I've never even had soda. And that was my own choice. There were times when, you know, people were drinking Coke or Pepsi and things like that. And I just thought, you know what, in my view, there's no real purpose to drinking that. Filled with food dye, most likely, and lots of sugar and probably high fructose corn syrup and things like that that I personally would rather stay away from. But anyway, that's pretty much how I managed to do it. And there were a few hiccups in the situation, especially in October. A lot of people have birthdays in October in my family, so I did have some gluten-free cake on a few occasions. But besides for that, besides for the month of October, everything has been, you know, going smoothly. And in January, my weight got to 150 pounds. So I lost 50 pounds since June, and it was 6 months. It's 50 pounds. And that's definitely a significant amount of weight, I feel. And in the time since the beginning of January, actually, on January 1st, it happened to be that I weighed 150 on the dot, 150.0. So that was kind of a little interesting to see. But since then, my weight has just gone down like a pound, I think, around that since then. And I actually had my doctor's appointment, as I said, 2 days ago. And my doctor said, you know, at this weight, if you keep everything, you know, at around this weight, if I'm working out more, you know, just make sure to get enough calories and, you know, just to maintain this as a good weight for someone that's my age and I guess my type. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. So thank you very much for watching this video. As always, have a great rest of your day, and you can always subscribe below.